It's been a while. A long, long while. Around a year ago, I made my thoughts known on a certain film based on a certain book, allegedly based on a certain fanfiction, based on a certain worst book/movie franchise ever. And I liked it. The parts of it. Some of it. Some things weren't too clever, but the parts that stood out made such an impression on me. I felt oddly proud to admit that I liked 50 Shades of Grey. The film, not the book. The book's still poison on paper. The movie, though, yeah, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, it's not on any favorite movies of all time lists of mine, but I still really enjoy the good parts of it. I already talked about my favorite part of the film, but I only really glossed over the scene that makes the entire movie worth watching. The ending. Anna's had enough of Christian's sadist and sadistic ways. Anna's in love with Christian, but he doesn't love him the way she wants him to. And so far, Christian shows no signs of budging. The elevator doors close, and it's a caveat. It's a lesson. It's a message to everyone who aspires to find a Christian Grey or an Anastasia Steele in their life. You may not be able to work out this kind of relationship, and you are always allowed to leave. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to learn from a past life. You're allowed to be curious, but you're also allowed to not let that curiosity kill you. It may have been more controversial and more stupid if Christian did keep chasing after Anna after those doors closed, but no, this Christian has limits. This Christian is learning and growing. He realizes he can't own everything, or everyone, which somehow lets the audience do something for Christian that they never really expected to do. Feel sorry for him. Whatever you say about the movie, you can't deny that the ending, depending on your viewpoint, makes up for the entire movie in spades. So when I heard that Universal and Focus were going to nullify every iota of power the ending had with 2 sequels, I might have been a teensy bit angry. It's a moneymaker. I should have known. It's the next big dramatic franchise. The first movie stands alone very well, so much so that I desperately wanted to believe that the first film would be enough for moviegoers and the studio. I quickly realized that was not going to be the case. And so the marketing was everywhere. The build-up for the second film as a thriller and a mystery was appearing to be way too much. And as February 2017 got closer and closer, I began to ask myself an important question. Am I a sucker? 50 Shades Darker is a movie I hate to hate. First off, let's get this out of the way. Anna and Christian are still really good together. I don't know if I'm going to be backed up on this, but I still think that Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson work really well on screen when they're not having sex. I mean it. For one, who has sex with their clothes on? It just bothers me. I know they're trying to keep the R rating, but I don't remember the original film having this much CM sex. I mean, hey, if you hold hands with clothes on sometimes, that's fine. I'm not looking down on you. But this is a movie about contact and coming together, both emotionally and physically. Actually, on that note, we learn about Christian a lot more in this movie. Instead of that, it's the way I am, shut up business, Christian reveals much more about the way he is, why the way he is, and Anna, and the audience, learns more about him and his troubled past. While 50 Shades of Grey focuses on Anna and her encounter and eventual escape from a mysterious yet alluring man, 50 Shades Darker is the story of Christian and his struggle to keep a woman in his life while fighting off the sins of his past. Speaking of those sins, we get many a new character in Darker, and they're all from Christian's past. First up is Jack Hyde, played by Eric Johnson. Jack is Anna's new boss at a publishing company who, surprise surprise, is a goddamn creepazoid. Like, wow. This guy, fucking wow. It takes a lot of nerve to portray a character in such a way that it makes Christian goddamn Grey look like fucking Fix-It Felix in terms of innocence and wholesomeness. I mean, the only thing I know about this character is that he probably smells like restraining order stationery, but it turns out that there may be more we don't know about between him and Christian. But that's supposedly being saved for Freed. Then there's Leela, played by Bella Heathcote, who we all know from... Leela is a former sub of Christian, who, like another annoying little brat joke, wanted more out of her relationship with Christian. Christian said no, ended the contract with Leela, and she moved on. For a while. I guess only now, when Anna and Christian are just getting to open up to each other, is it best for Leela to stalk Christian and become absolutely obsessed with Anna, as Christian lets Anna do things to him that Leela would never be allowed to do, like have feelings. For as minor a part Leela has in this story, she plays a big part in my favorite scene in Darker. Up to this point, Anna is given this idea that Christian would never be satisfied with a vanilla relationship, despite Christian's changing ways. These worrisome thoughts hit an apex once Leela holds Anna at gunpoint in her own apartment. As Anna doubts herself even more, with Leela's questions and concerns, Christian comes into the room and...
No, Christian.
We see the unfeeling, powerful Christian we first saw in 50 Shades of Grey. And here, he's more intimidating as ever. We're right there with Anna, in wondering if Christian really has changed, if he's really going to be satisfied with Anna's traditional relationship wants and needs. You see this controlling look in Christian's eyes, one that floods our mind with many good and bad memories, but here, you see Christian using this attitude and this control over another person, not for his own gain, but to protect Anna, the person who has truly changed him. It's a moment of heroism on Christian's part that's a shade darker than most people notice. But Anna's had these thoughts before. These thoughts of, will I be enough for Christian? Not just from Leela or from her own worries. In 50 Shades Darker, Anna finally meets Mrs. Robinson herself. The lady who awakened Christian's blah 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 side, Elena Lincoln, played by Kim Basinger, steps into this clusterfuck and tries so hard to convince Anna that Christian needs a sub in his life in various scenes throughout the movie. And she's boring. That's it. That's all I have to say about her. I know they're setting her up for something big and freed. Again, never read the book. But I could not care less about her or her villainy or whatever. To wrap up, I'll spill some details about the last third. After Leela and Anna's standoff, Christian and Anna fully connect with each other, both of them knowing that they complete each other. Christian, as the subtle and enigmatic man he is, asks Anna to marry him after a night in the Red Room. Before Anna can seemingly answer, a day before Christian's birthday of all things, Christian gets into a helicopter crash, which he comes home from and brushes off like nothing, which gets a few laughs after like 15 minutes of pushing the fact that the Christian might be totally dead. Yes, yeah. Anna says yes to Christian's proposal in a cute way that I can't really spoil without feeling guilty, and at a party at Christian's childhood home, Christian announces his engagement to everyone, including Elena, who's not very happy about it. And if you told 5-year-old me that Marcia Gay Harden would slap Kim Basinger on film, he'd probably freak out. As the fireworks pop and happiness flows, Jack Hyde watches from the distance, burning Christian from a picture with a cigarette, and we all now have to wait one more year for the exciting stuff to happen. A mid-credit sequence shows the very short clips of the still-in-production 50 Shades Freed, the final ending to this trilogy. Nothing happens in this movie. Nothing. Fucking nothing. Aside from a couple of scenes I talked about earlier, nothing happens in this movie. It's all introductions of characters we'll probably see fleshed out and freed. And whenever that's not happening, it's Christian and Anna arguing over some easy to talk about dilemma. And when that's not happening, it's the sex. I don't see Darker as an exciting continuation of the 50 Shades of Grey story. I see it as a stretched out addendum. The reason I liked 50 Shades of Grey so much is that it knew what parts of the book to leave out and what parts of the book to focus on. But more is less with Darker. We see more interactions between characters, old and new, but we feel nothing when a drink is thrown in someone's face, or when a gun is shot, or when a gosh darn helicopter crashes. Christian and Anna we already know will be the most memorable people in the story, but for everyone else, save for a few exceptions, I probably already forgot how to spell their names. We'll just have to wait until 2018 for 50 Shades Freed to see if any of these characters are fleshed out more on screen. And that brings me to my first question. Am I a sucker? Yeah. Yes. Yes, I am. But I really don't regret it one bit. I think I know I'm in a minority in this kind of thing. People have the gut-punchiest reactions when I tell them that I like 50 Shades of Grey. The movie, not the book. Well, that's why I'm here. To get my opinion out, to explain my reasoning. My name's Christian. I like what I like, and I have no regrets. Nope. Still no regrets. No, you're not getting me. Still no regrets. There's no way you're going... Okay, maybe I have some regrets. Thank you. Really, I have no idea how I'm going to thank you all. Admittedly, I haven't been the best at keeping up with the pace for videos lately, but the fact that even one of you out there is still interested in what I have to say or think still pretty much astounds me. Here's to 11 billion more videos.